In the realm of grace and professional might, Miss Jyoti Kundu shines a guiding light. From jet airways to soft skills in flight, her wisdom soars presenting insights bright. Welcome to another insightful episode of Talk Through Thursday. Today we have a pleasure of hosting Miss Kundu, a seasoned professional who embarked on her career journey with Jet Airways and since then evolved into a certified soft skills trainer with a wealth of experience in navigating social and business environments. Jyoti specializes in the art of making impactful first impressions and enhancing one's personality. Join us as we delve into her expertise and uncover valuable insights on presenting oneself effectively across various settings, both professionally and personally. Namaskar, Jyoti ji. How are you?
Namaskar, Barkha. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. And I think that was a poem that was made in heaven. Yes, thank you so much for that. I'm good. आप कैसे हैं?
I'm great and good to see you here. And thank you for
Same
doing
here.
this. It means a lot. It's
Absolutely.
my pleasure having you here.
Same here. Same here. Absolutely.
So, आप हमारे ऑडियंस को अपने बारे में कुछ बता सकते हैं, like your background and how did you start it all?
Okay. So my name is Jyoti Kundu, and I'm a behavioral trainer by profession. So when I started out, of course, मैंने अपनी सारी education एक boarding school से करी है. Or of course, it was an army school, so a lot of discipline there. Getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and that kind of routine. Been very used to it. So as a total tomboy growing up, बहुत ज़्यादा, एकदम, huh? So it was very, I never thought now the profession I'm in, it's a lot about first impressions. And leaving first impressions, I was totally opposite of that while growing up. Okay, but then I remember ये 8th class की बात है, and there's this woman. So our patron was a brigadier, and his daughter was working with Emirates. And as part of a curriculum, he asked his daughter to come over to our school or a talk day, basically, to pep up the children and maybe a little bit of exposure. And we're all sitting in the hall, and this woman walks in through the door, and all eyes are on her. She hadn't uttered a word until now. कुछ भी नहीं बोला था उन्होंने. But everybody was looking at her. The way she was conducting herself, the way she was walking, and then she started talking. And that was even better. And I was like, मुझे तो flight attendant ही बनना है, कुछ भी हो जाए, you know. So of course, that was an 8th standard, 7th or 8th standard, okay. And you know how mentality is of, especially our parents' generation. They were like a little hesitant about me pursuing this career. They were like, finish your MBA, BBA, karo apna, get a, because they understand the life of this profession, right? They didn't understand back in those days, so they would always be like, kuch aur, get a concrete education in place first, and then go for all of this. You can get in after you finish your graduation. But I was really adamant. I was like, mujhe yahi karna hai. So of course, as luck would have it, I finished my 12th. I came to Delhi. I enrolled myself graduation maybe. I was doing my graduation and side by side started appearing for interviews. And of course, I got through with one of the most premier airline back in those days, Jet Airways. And that airline made me the person I am today. It taught me everything about about everything, basically, about organizing yourself, about first impressions, how do they matter, the kind of impact they leave, about uh, basic body language, a lot of other things, basically. So it's been a wonderful journey. I have nothing but gratitude for the kind of journey I've had so far. Thank you for that question, Barkha. Really.
And thank you for, wonderfully explaining how you have transformed from being a student to a flight
Yes.
attendant at Jet Airways,
Yes.
and that too, you were so fascinated about, presenting yourself in a way that, which inspires a lot of people around you.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
And we can see that on screen right now as well.
Thank you, Barkha. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, moving ahead, can you just share your journey from working at Jet Airways, like you mentioned rightly, to becoming
Yes.
a certified soft skills trainer that you are today?
Okay.
Please tell us
So
about
again, thank you. That's a great question, and I'll have to literally go back in time again. तो जैसे कि मैंने कहा that flying gives you a lot of exposure, and you come across a lot of personalities on daily basis. Some you work with, some you transport from one place to another, right? And so it was sort of an eye opener. That really intrigued me a lot. I wanted to know more about human behavior, how it sort of molds us into who we are, and that was one. There was a certain point in my, of course, the trainers, when I was undergoing the training, how these trainers influenced my life was also a major factor that weighed in when I wanted to become a soft skills trainer. Of course, that was the point. We, like you said, we all inspiring each other, right? We are looking at each other and learning things from each other. It was the same back in those days. Of course, I had trainers who were exceptionally good at their job, and they were able to motivate us. Of course, a lot of us already knew what we were there for, our strengths and everything. But then, how did they push us to go for the best? That was a very eye-opening journey for me, and I wanted to create the same impact, and I wanted to delve more into human behavior and be able to uh, not basically influence, but encourage more people to go out there and give the best of themselves. So of course, that is the reason why I wanted to become a soft skills trainer, behavioral trainer, and it's been a great journey. Trust me. I mean, as a trainer, the kind of people you meet every day, and everybody, the ones who are enrolling into your sessions, the one who are there, are ready to to undergo that change. So it's already there in place. So your job becomes a little easier. They already know their stuff. You just have to make them aware. As a facilitator, you just have to make them aware so that they can use these tips and tools on everyday basis. तो ये चीज बहुत important हो जाती है फिर as a soft skills trainer. It's been great.
Definitely, you said it right that they're out there already and they're open for that change and transformation, right?
Yes, that's
So,
the most important part.
and yes, it is because if somebody is not ready, we can't just force the change on them, right?
Absolutely true.
And then talking about personality enhancement, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
what do
Mm-hmm.
you think? How important is body language in making a positive impression? And what are some of the key language points, body language tips for
Okay.
any, to emphasize on? Tell me.
All right.
Tell us about that.
Okay. That great. So okay, so I'll try to answer this. Uh, Body language is basically an umbrella term. We understand that उसके अंदर बहुत सारे components होते हैं. You know, from the way you manage your time, that also leaves a message on others. If you're there on time or not, that also leaves a message. How you look, how your gestures are, how your facial expressions are, how you're conducting yourself in the public arena. That all these are key components of body language, right? So let me take you back to when I was influenced, when I was inspired, this female who walked in that auditorium to give us that talk about flying. She didn't utter. I specifically said the word. उन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं बोला था उस time तक, right? She just walks in the auditorium, and everyone is in awe of her. Okay. Why was that? Because of the way she was conducting herself, the way she was carrying herself, the way she was walking. And she was all dignified, and she got on stage. And that's when her words came out. That was later stage, right? That the words came out. Before that, we had already formed an image of her. We'd already decided, even before she had opened my mouth, I decided I wanted to be a flight attendant. This was a major This is how body language sends a message to people even before you open your mouth, right? Even before the words come out. People are judging you, people are looking at you, they are creating notions about you, they are forming thoughts about you when you're talking, when you are the way you're walking, sorry, the way you're conducting yourself. If you come across as a person whose shoulders are slouched, and you are just dragging your feet, that sends a very wrong message, right? हमको लगता है ये person interested ही नहीं है इस conversation में. Interview में candidates जाते हैं, if they don't establish eye contact, they don't smile, and their body posture is all drooping, the shoulders are drooping in the chair, and the back is bent, what kind of impressions do we get about that individual? We of course think that individual is not interested in the job, it is not confident, kaise karega ye kaam. Ho sakta hai he's or she is absolutely great, they're experts in their field, but because they're not aware of the finer nuances, उनको पता ही नहीं है उनको कैसे कंडक्ट करने अपने आप को, अवेयर ही नहीं है, right? Because they don't understand the kind of impact this is having on others. पता ही नहीं है, you know. मेरे slouchy shoulders, मेरा बैक अगर बेंट है, और मैं अगर अपने नेल्स बाइट कर रही हूँ इंटरव्यू के दौरान, what kind of message is going to send to the interviewer sitting in front of me? This is how the body language plays such a vital role. I'm sure you agree with that, right, Barkha? I mean, so of course, on everyday basis, having a positive body language plays a very, very important role, not just in how others are portraying you, but how your mental, emotional well-being is also getting, uplifted with the correct posture, all of that.
Definitely.
I was able to answer your question?
Yes, and I'm so inspired by what you have said, because you correctly mentioned that the practical application of the theoretical knowledge is what leads you to success, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And talking of impact here, like you have mentioned it quite a time. Talking of impact, what role, according to you, in your experience, does personal branding play in career advancement, and how can individuals develop their personal brand effectively? इसके बारे में हमें थोड़ा
Okay. ठीक है, तो हमारे डिफेंस बैकग्राउंड में, सो आई एम अ डिफेंस वेटरन, माय हस्बैंड वाज इन इंडियन नेवी, माय फादर इज एन एक्स आर्मी गाय. तो हमारे एक डिफेंस में एक कहावत है, एक स्टेटमेंट है, व्हाट यू स्टैंड फॉर इज व्हाट यू स्टैंड ऑन. ओके, इट्स बेसिकली आप जिस चीज के लिए स्टैंड करते हैं, आप उसी चीज के लिए जाने जाएंगे, right? So personal branding is very much similar to that, right? So if I don't have concrete thoughts about a particular, I don't have a value system that I believe in, okay, people will not know me for anything, right? So your personal brand has to reflect your value system, what you stand for, okay? And you have to be consistent in delivery when you are establishing a brand for yourself. Okay, I hold my personal values. For example, I value respect a lot, I value fitness a lot, and I value positive behavior a lot. All these aspects are something that I stand for, and these are the topics I talk about consistently. So people know, okay, this person right here, Jyoti को हम इन चीजों से relate कर सकते हैं. So she can, this is a brand. Like, if you look at the celebrities, for example, they all are brands in itself, right? They all represent a certain value system. If you look at a product in the market, for that matter, right? A brand. If you look at Nestle, a brand, what does it stand for, right? If you look at any other brand, they all are giving out a certain message to the community, to people.
They're associated
right?
with some messages, of course, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have to be consistent in the delivery of what your value systems are. That is what creates a brand. Okay, when you're consistently delivering in those fields, when you're consistent in those fields, you are creating a brand for yourself. Okay, and the second question, the second part, if I may ask you, what was the second part of it?
You have already answered to that. Like, how can
What?
individuals develop their personal brand effectively? And
Okay, so
it's
yes,
correctly mentioned by giving your example, live example.
yes. So
So,
having a value system in place, of course. First, deciding for yourself that what are you going to stand for. So that is the thing you'll be known for. You'll be standing on that forever. Then people are going to associate you with those values, and that's your brand. So that's how I think personal branding really works.
very rightly said, and great words, Jyoti.
Thank you, Barka.
And we can just see the wide experience in you, like while you're presenting yourself here. You have a vast knowledge of the topic, like the topic called life, right?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm
Yeah, it's
still
a
learning.
journey. We're all learning here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, how do you tailor your training sessions to meet needs
Okay.
or specific needs and goals of your clients? Can you tell us about that?
Okay. A great question, Barka. I think this is where we get into the serious stuff now. So, before a training starts, it's very important to get an insight of what you're getting into. How are your learners going to be? Where do they come from? What do they know about the current topic that you're going to be discussing with them? So, if they are at beginner level, I can't go on expert level with them. That would absolutely demotivate them, because that would make them feel a little intimidated. And that's when the learning is going to stop right then and there. They are going to stop receiving information. वो लेंगे ही नहीं, आप कितना ही information दो उनको, they will just create a barrier between you and between themselves and the trainer, right? Because उनको लगेगा कि ये हम कर ही नहीं सकते. So first of all, आपको ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि आपके जो लर्नर्स हैं वो कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, किस टाइप की इंफॉर्मेशन उनको काम आएगी. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ देर इज okay, if there is, say, I'm training a group of women, जो कि मैंने किया है, who are going to work and who are going to go as house help. Okay. So this happened wherein this organization, a small organization, had called me to train their women who are going as house help to other places. Okay, they'll be recruited. Agency had called me basically. Now at that level, those ladies, they need basic grooming tips. They need basic body language tips. अब मैं उनको आई कांट गिव देम एडवांस लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज, बिकॉज दैट्स गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ बैरियर. वो वहीं पे लर्निंग स्टॉप कर देंगे, बिकॉज दे बी लाइक ये तो हम कर ही नहीं सकते, बिकॉज ये अनअचीवेबल गोल्स हैं that she's setting for ourselves, right? So you not only have to dress that part, you also have to act that part and say the correct words to them. You have to understand that these people, they need basic information about what you're going to deliver, and you have to make them believe in themselves. अब वो, अगर मैं उनको एडवांस लेवल की नॉलेज दूंगी, उससे नहीं होगा. They are going to run away from you then. They are going to feel more intimidated. So first of all, letting them know that I'm here for you, और मैं आपकी हेल्प करने के लिए आई हूँ यहाँ पे. एंड आपको जो इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, ये आपको बहुत काम आएगी. क्यों काम आएगी? Why is it important? What's in it for you? Okay. So of course you have to understand where your learners are coming from, what do they need as information. Okay. Whereas अगर मैं एडवांस लेवल के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हायर लीडरशिप को अगर मैं ट्रेन करने जा रही हूँ, वहां पे I can't use basic information. They will stop. They will again create a barrier right then and there. They'll be like, what is she telling us? हमको already पता है ये सब चीज, क्यों बता रही है ये? I mean, why is she wasting her time? So I need to have more stories for them, more real life examples for them, more talks, more stories on real life examples of leadership for them. So they feel, okay, relatable. Okay, I didn't know this. अरे ऐसा भी होता है, अरे ऐसा भी होता है, and they get more intrigued. Storytelling is such an important part of the training. So yes, of course, knowing your trainees, tailor customizing the entire content around them, not around you, not around मुझे कितना पता है. It's not about me, right? कि मुझे इतना पता है तो मैं इतना वॉमिट करने वाली हूँ वहां पे, नहीं. It's all about the learners who are going to be there. What do they need, and how much can they grasp, and how much of this then they can implement in the real life. Because they'll not be implementing 100% of what you give them. They're only going to be implementing 40%. That 40% has to be precise, has to be valuable, and should add value to their life in some way.
Yes, definitely. And you mentioned that creating impact and swooping into their brains is very important.
Yes,
And we can
yes,
only do
yes.
that by customizing or tailoring the content
Yeah,
to them, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Because
Yes.
it's not about us, it's about the person we're trying to inculcate values in, right?
True, true. Barkha, on that note, like, I'm sorry for interrupting you, for extending this so much, but again, a personal example. When I was in school, math, I dreaded math like anything. Okay. It was like the most dreadful subject for me, precisely because the trainer, the teacher who was giving me the lessons, made it so difficult for me that it just not impacted my intake of the information, but emotionally as well. I started feeling words like, I started feeling like a total duffer. मतलब वो मुझे हमेशा बोलते थे, तुम डफर हो, तुमसे कुछ नहीं होगा लाइफ में, तुम कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे लाइफ में. And that stayed with me. So this is the kind of power trainers, educators have in their hands. And when we demean our learners, we can just not impact the learning, but we can also create a very deep emotional scar for them that they will never overcome, right? So that becomes very important. So yes, knowing your learners and
Definitely,
tailoring
very
their
important.
needs. Had he tried to teach me in some other way, maybe I was not good at the theory part, I was really good at the practical part of it. If maybe some other way, because box ये है तो इसी में सबको fit होना है. This is what my way is going to be, and everybody has to fit in it. I don't care whether you are made for this box or not, but fit इसी में होना है. As a trainer, you have options, you have tools, you have to use them correctly, right, to create that rapport first, and then make them receive the information in the fastest and easiest way.
So, like you rightly mentioned here, repo, right? And
Yes,
repo totally means first impressions. Yes. And your
absolutely,
first
absolutely.
impression of maths was very not good because of the
Yes,
person who was trying to teach you, right?
yes, Barkha, yes,
And
Barkha.
it is very crucial to have first impressions, right? Because
Mhm.
you should be mindful about how you're creating them or how
Good.
you are taking it first, right?
Yes,
You
yes,
also you
yes,
also should not judge while you are, when somebody else is presenting first time in front of you.
yes,
So how,
yes.
according to you, is first impression in various aspects of life important? And what steps can individuals take to ensure that they have a positive, not a negative one,
Okay,
but the positive first impression on the person they
okay,
are representing in front of? Please tell us
okay.
about that.
I feel, uh, you know, people should know how first impressions matter and why do they matter. Um, we, at the end of the day, human behavior, we think with our eyes, right? We think with our eyes, and what we see is going to form notions in our head. Okay. Now, how effective first impressions are, basically, for example, if you are headed for an interview, okay, as an individual, आप interview के लिए जा रहे हैं, and you're meeting with the interviewer right there. I'm going to give a very concrete examples because I think that that hits home with most of the audiences. तो आप इंटरव्यू के लिए जा रहे हैं, and you're very thoroughly prepared. You are an expert at your job, at the knowledge part of it. आपको पता है, you are a software developer and you know A to Z about everything regarding that. Okay, but when you go for the interview, वहां पे 10-15 लोग और हैं who are equally as good as you. Okay, they have the perfect amount of knowledge. Okay, maybe more than you, right? And whenever you go for an interview, there are 15-20 people already waiting, and now you wonder, ये सब यहाँ पे आए हैं, why should I be chosen? Okay, what is going to make me stand out, right? What is going to make you stand out? You walk into a room, you wish everyone, you have a very confident body language, you take the chair that is offered to you by the interviewers, okay? You establish eye contact, you smile at them. Of course, you give them the right information, right answers to all the questions, okay? But they're also judging your attitude, which is a big part of body language first impressions, right? Uh, like I said, there are 15-20 candidates who have got the same amount of knowledge, even more maybe, okay? But while they were asking you questions, they were also judging you. They are also looking at your attitude part of it. How good are you going to be at your job? Okay. Are you a team player? Are you going to be able to work with others cohesively? Are you going to manage? So everything is time. अगर आप इंटरव्यू के लिए टाइम पे नहीं पहुंचेंगे, that is also sending a message. First impression वही खराब हो गया. We talk about first impressions, yes. So this is how it builds on and on and on. So it's not about having all the right knowledge in the industry. It's also about how you are being judged by those in front of you, right? Okay, and how shallow it may seem, uh, but that's how the world works. That's how uh, the society works, right? When we go to a basic, मैं एक गोलगप्पे वाले का एग्जांपल देती हूँ, ठीक है? हम गोलगप्पे खाने जाते हैं, okay? And there are two गोलगप्पा वाला standing simultaneously, दोनों आसपास खड़े हैं, okay? So one has got gloves in his hand, is Thela is all clean and all, okay, and he's got his nails trimmed, he's uh, properly groomed. I'm not talking about like wearing jeans and tucked shirt and all of that. No, just basic, clean, hygienic grooming. I'm talking about that, okay. And he's got and there is on the other hand there is another golgappe wala जिनका nail भी trim नहीं किया है, gloves नहीं पहना है, and ठेला बहुत dirty है, even the clothes have stains on them, बहुत dirty clothes हो रखे हैं, and they didn't even bother to sort of change it, बाल पूरे disheveled हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे अभी bed से उठ कर आए हैं, not even taken a bath. You tell me, Barkha, which ठेला would you like to have golgappas from? कौन सा वाला?
Definitely, firstly, uh, we should not go into taste first, but on the person
Yes.
who would be wearing the gloves with trimmed nails and proper
Yes.
clothing. Of
Yeah,
course,
because you don't want to fall sick, like right, Barkha?
definitely.
So first impressions worked, did it? You have not tasted the golgappa yet, but you have formed an image of that person. आपने एक image बना ली उस इंसान की, and now you are deciding on something because of that image. And who got the business?
The
The
hygienic
one who
one.
was
Yeah.
the hygienic one, right? Because though that person took the effort to send the right kind of message to the audience, right? So that is why he or she will be doing fairly well than the one who has got a tailor who has not taken a lot of effort. उसको फर्क ही नहीं, उसको पता है कि cleanliness matter करती है, उसको पता है कि he needs to be groomed, but करना कैसे है, व्हाट स्टेप्स शुड आई टेक, क्या इससे मैं अपने आप को बदल सकता हूँ, क्या स्टेप्स लूं मैं अपने आप को वहां पे लेके जाने के लिए, वो पता ही नहीं. द अवेयरनेस इज ऑल्सो मिसिंग, एंड हाउ टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट, those tips are also missing. So I hope this example was able to answer the entire question in whole, or
It
if you want me
totally
to elaborate, I can.
justified. You
Okay.
justified the question by
All right.
answering it very brilliantly and smartly. You
Great.
connected to the
Thank you.
audience well, I must say.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, because we all eat golgappas at some point, right? I'm personally very fond of it, so मुझे तो बहुत पसंद है, तो मैं तो उसी के पास जाती हूँ जिसने ग्लव्स पहने भाई.
Very true. And I mean, it's
हाँ,
important because health is also
yes,
important. Not only impressions, but
absolutely.
our health.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So,
True.
जैसे कि आपने मेंशन किया एंड इट वाज वेरी राइट कि अगर हमें किसी जॉब इंटरव्यू के लिए जाना होता है उधर ऑलरेडी 4 लोग या 70 पीपल्स आर देयर राइट ऑलरेडी
Yes,
सिटिंग फॉर द
yes.
सेम जॉब फॉर द सेम
हाँ जी,
ऑफर
yes.
सो उन्होंने फर्स्ट इम्प्रेशन बनाना है बट उनके
Absolutely.
पास इस वक्त ब्रेन में बहुत ज्यादा कश्मकश होती है कि हम किस
बिल्कुल.
तरह यूनिक दिखें क्योंकि नॉलेज सबके पास
Hmm.
डिग्री सबके
Absolutely.
पास है थ्योरी दे नो वेल they can't show their
Absolutely.
practical skills there right
Hmm.
उस
Hmm.
वक्त
Hmm.
जो एंजाइटी उनके दिमाग में होती है एक
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
नर्वसनेस होती है which leads to
Hmm.
anxiety right for some people
Yes.
who
Yes.
can't hold on to their
Absolutely.
nervousness right so how
Absolutely.
can
Absolutely.
individuals overcome nervousness and anxiety while presenting themselves in front of others or be it a social setting or a professional like you mentioned उसके बारे में हमें
ग्रेट,
थोड़ी सी टिप्स
ग्रेट, ग्रेट क्वेश्चन बरखा, ग्रेट क्वेश्चन. आई थिंक ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है, ये एक ऐसा पॉइंट है जो कि बहुत ज्यादा रिलेटेबल है, राइट? Especially in today's world when youth is going for interview, उनको नॉलेज बहुत होती है. एंड उनको इंटरव्यू में जाना भी बहुत एंड टुडे you have platforms like TED Talk and all, wherein public speaking and all of this is there's a platform for all of these things. So of course, uh, we know that public speaking is one of the biggest fear that people have, more than dying actually, So one has to understand that anxiety and nervousness are a very, very normal feeling that they are going to feel prior to any interview, prior to any talk, prior to any social presentation that they are getting into, any social setting that they're getting into. Okay. Because they feel that they'll be judged there. Yes. Because they feel कि वहां पे जो लोग उनके सामने बैठे हैं, their job is to judge them, right? So that is what causes fear in the first place. कि यार आज मेरे सामने ये लोग हैं और मैं यहाँ पे बैठा हूँ या बैठी हूँ इंटरव्यू के लिए या टॉक के लिए या किसी भी चीज के लिए, इनका एक ही काम है आज कि मुझे जज करने आए हैं. उससे क्या होता है that you know emotions are all creations of our brain, hormones, right? And then of course उसके साथ बहुत सारे इश्यूज और आते हैं. We start breathing heavily, तेज breathe करना शुरू कर दिया because these are physical manifestations of nervousness and anxiety, right? You start breathing very fast and you start sweating, and then what happens, you start feeling अरे यार मुझे बहुत nervousness हो रहा है, I can't do this. Okay, first of all, one needs to calm down and understand that this is a very natural phenomena. Okay, this happens to even the greatest of speakers, even the ones who've given tons of interviews. कल आज के दिन Mr. Pichai also goes for an interview, he's going to feel a little nervous. Of course, with the experience he's had and with the kind of exposure he's had, he has learned to control those urges, but he's still going to feel nervous at some point. Okay, so nervousness and anxiety are a very, very normal part of these settings. Okay, how do you overcome these? First of all, body language. It has been proved scientifically that having a confident body language really impacts your confidence level. Okay, you are able to overcome some amount of anxiety and nervousness through your body chain, through your physical movements. Okay, what happens if you're getting nervous? Go to a washroom, maybe just stretch your arms in front of the mirror and just अपने साथ ही पेप टॉक करो मिरर में देखकर. यू कैन डू दिस ज्योति, आई यूज्ड टू डू दिस. आई रिमेम्बर जब मैं अपने एयरलाइंस की इंटरव्यू के लिए गई थी, तो मैंने अपने आप को बहुत पेप टॉक दिया था वॉशरूम में जाकर मिरर में देखकर. यू कैन डू दिस ज्योति, इट्स ओके यार, हो जाएगा, ज्यादा से क्या होगा. तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अपने आप को पॉजिटिव सेल्फ टॉक करना. telling yourself that you're prepared for this, you got this. वो डर नहीं होना चाहिए कि यार पता नहीं कैसा होगा, पता नहीं सामने बैठे लोग कैसा क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में. Listen, nobody cares. Okay? किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि आपने कैसा बोला, कैसे परफॉर्म किया. What matters is, are you prepared for it? You are. आपको पूरी नॉलेज है, but you have to be confident about it. Right? And it has to be a daily practice. It doesn't come in one day कि मैं आज confident act करूंगा तो आज मैं चकते फटे हो जाएगा मेरा. नो, यू हैव टू बिलीव इन योर सेल्फ. आपको रोज अपने आप को पेप टॉक देना पड़ेगा. And there'll come a point where you don't need it anymore. Okay? Breathing techniques really help. Breathe in and breathe out. 3-4 minutes के लिए do these exercises of breathing in deep and breathing out deep. Do this exercise. It is really, really powerful. And then replacing these words like anxiety, nervousness. No, you're not nervous. You're not anxious. You're excited that something new is happening to you, right? That you are doing this for the first time, and you should go there and just give your best. जहां पे हम सोचेंगे पता नहीं मैं कैसे करूंगा, instead replace that with I'm going to give my best. I really don't care about the outcome. मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता इसका क्या आउटकम होने वाला है, बट मैं आज अपना बेस्ट देने वाली हूँ या बेस्ट देने वाला हूँ. And no matter how others perceive me, I'm going to be my authentic self, you know, and that really helps, of course. So replacing these words, harsh words, nervousness, anxiety, with more positive words. So the tips to overcoming nervousness and anxiety, first of all, we got to understand that nervousness is a very, very crucial part of this entire process. Okay? Because what it is doing, first of all, it's preparing you for what is to come. Okay? Imagine being lazy and going on the stage and then delivering your talk. So it is doing something. It is preparing you. These hormones are preparing you for something. If you're feeling palpitations, if you're feeling that sweat, if you're feeling that breathlessness, it's excitement. Something great is going to happen. Now that depends on you how you're going to take it. Okay? Don't bother about the failure part of it. We all fail at some point. We all have failed miserably. I still fail so miserably. And I'm not scared of making a fool of myself, honestly, because I feel, okay, there's a lesson that I'm going to take away from this. And it's quite all right अगर लोग मुझ पे हंसते हैं तो ठीक है यार, कोई बात नहीं, चलता है ना? But the lesson is what is more important, right? And replace these harsh words, fear, nervousness, with something like excitement. I'm really excited to do this. That is the reason why I'm feeling this way. This is the reason why I'm getting breathless. This is the reason why I'm ecstatic and I'm feeling that palpitation, because I'm really excited to do this. This helps. And changing your body form, getting into some power moves, practicing that in front of the mirror. And breathing really helps, like I said, controlling your breathing, because the more oxygen you're able to sort of send to your brain, the calmer you're going to feel, right? So it's important to breathe in and out. Do this exercise for good 4-5 minutes before heading for any important social setting that you're getting into, a presentation that you're getting into, right? And of course, पॉजिटिव सेल्फ टॉक, पेप टॉक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपने अपने दिमाग में ये पहले से ही सेट कर लिया कि मैं फेलियर हूँ, ट्रस्ट मी, इंटरव्यूज की जरूरत भी नहीं है. आप पहले ही फेलियर बन जाएंगे. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप अपने आप पे बिलीव ये रखें कि यू गॉट दिस, हो जाएगा आराम से. ठीक है? एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव टू नो योर टॉपिक. आप कुछ भी बारे में अगर बात करने जा रहे हैं, आई एम नॉट अ बिग फैन ऑफ फेक इट टिल यू मेक इट, बिकॉज मुझे लगता है then you are कितना फेक करेंगे आप, कितना, कहाँ तक? You have to have the knowledge that you're going to deliver. और जहां पे आपने फेक किया और जहां पे आप पकड़े गए, then it's very difficult to sort of gain that trust of people, right, Barkha? तो don't fake it till you make it. Information होना, knowledge होना बहुत important part है. That is the core thing that's going to help you with the confidence. अगर मैं सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर के इंटरव्यू के लिए जा रही हूँ या जा रहा हूँ और मुझे अपना कंटेंट नहीं पता है, मुझे नॉलेज ही नहीं है क्या, नो मैटर हाउ ग्रेट माय फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन इज, no matter how great I am in talking, in in building rapport with the interviewers. If I don't know what my job is, they are not going to take me. And in fact, I'm going to end up looking like an absolute fool. तो बहुत जरूरी है that नॉलेज होना, आप जिसमें भी एक्सपर्ट बनना चाहते हैं, एक्सपर्टीज हासिल करना चाहते हैं किसी भी फील्ड में, उसके बारे में आपको नॉलेज होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Yes, and I'm sure people will be boosted with confidence after listening and applying those tips of yours in their
थैंक यू
personal
बरका,
life.
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू.
ज्योति, हर
यस.
सिक्के के दो पहलू होते हैं, राइट?
हाँ जी, यस,
इसी
एब्सोल्युटली.
तरह हम आपने बताया अभी कि हम खुद को या तो पॉजिटिवली एनहांस कर सकते हैं या तो नेगेटिवली,
बिल्कुल,
राइट?
बिल्कुल,
अगर हम खुद
बिल्कुल.
को किसी भी सिचुएशन को हम पॉजिटिवली लेंगे और उसको पॉजिटिवली अप्लाई करेंगे अपनी लाइफ में, so
यस.
outcomes will be according to us, right? And if we
यस,
apply
यस,
it negatively on our brains, we will be feeling nervous. So
यस.
जिंदगी के भी इस टाइम पे, इस जनरेशन में, और we can say in this era, जिंदगी के दो
हम्म.
पहलू हो चुके हैं. If you'll
ट्रू.
agree with me, it is
ट्रू.
firstly physical presence and now
हम्म.
the virtual one as well.
यस, यस.
Yeah,
ट्रू.
do you agree with
ट्रू.
me on
ट्रू.
this? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
after watching in today's world, dig digital is very important, right?
Yes,
For people
yes,
who want to work virtually or online, right?
yes,
So
yes,
how do you
yes.
feel, or what do you feel about how important is online
Mhm.
presence and personal branding when it comes to making an impression? And what
Okay,
strategies do you recommend for maintaining the
okay.
positive online image?
All right. Great question, Barkha.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I said, personal branding is all about the value system that you have in place. Okay. What you stand for is what you stand on. ठीक है. और जैसे कि आपने बताया that virtual presence is something that millennials onwards are very good at. Okay, and it has become a very important aspect of our lives, right? No matter how much we try and say that it's all fluke and it doesn't matter and all, it does. It is a very effective and a very powerful marketing tool. Now, how are you going to use it? Okay, depends on you completely as an individual, right? आप उसको यूज कर सकते हैं to basically put others down, to pull others down through mean statements, and generations do that, millennials do that, Gen Z does that, alpha is also doing it, so so you could use the social media for that. You could use social media, you could use digital era to consume information that is absolutely unnecessary, or you could use this platform to create a very, very powerful impact on people around you. Okay, we have so many influencers who are doing that. There's a lot of hard work that goes behind it. Okay, now when you are engaged with people, with your audiences online, तो बहुत जरूरी बन जाता है सबसे पहले तो you stand true to your core values. It becomes even more important because जहां पे आपको physically दो लोग देख रहे थे, 10 लोग देख रहे थे, अब virtually आपको हजारों लोग एक टाइम पे देख सकते हैं. ओके. एंड जहां पे दो लोग 10 लोग फिजिकली आपके बारे में थॉट्स फॉर्म कर रहे थे, वहां पे अब हजारों लाखों लोग आर फॉर्मिंग ओपिनियंस अबाउट यू. Okay, so personal branding, what you stand on, what you stand for is what you stand on. Okay, so अगर मेरी core values मेरे virtual aura के साथ align नहीं करती है, okay, I'm coming out as a different person, but my posts are all different. You think I'll be able to establish that connection between the audience and myself? No, they are going to know instantly कि ये fake है. She's just blabbering and उसको कुछ नहीं पता है. So it's very important that I stand true to my brand image, my personal branding, and deliver this consistent result online as well in virtual setting, so that both are aligned and people believe what they see. It's not deceiving them. they ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं देख कुछ और रही हूँ और ये है कुछ और. They both have to be aligned, they both have to be cohesive, and they both have to be congruent, right? And of course, I can't emphasize much on the virtual presence. I mean, I could go on, and I'm sure there is a time limitation to it. But it's very important. Tips. Some tips is not to engage in any heated debates, not to engage post random post on any social uh, uh, thing that is happening around. Do not share videos that don't align with your value system. Don't share videos just randomly because you feel emotionally overworked. आपको लगता है मैंने ये वो post कर दिया तो because as youth it's very difficult to draw those boundaries. We get carried away. Even me for that matter, sometimes I go through videos, those are harrowing. And I'm 36. I'm going to tell my age. I'm 36, okay? And I'm emotionally mature. But there are 16-year-old vulnerable children who are watching videos. The kind of impact they have on their brain, that has on their brains, then they don't know what reality is. They don't know what the truth is. What do? They align themselves to that video, and they post it instantly on their social handle, creating a lifelong impact. Then because then people, your friends are watching you and they're creating an image of, okay, ये बंदा ऐसा, ये बंदी ऐसी है, ये इसको support करती है, इसको उसको support करती है, good or bad, could be anything, right? So choose that very, very wisely. This is one thing I would like to tell the young generation, to choose this very wisely. Just don't get emotionally carried away. It's very easy to not think about it, and just because something charged you emotionally and you feel the need to just put it out there and say it, trust me, don't get into that. Just detach yourself from that kind of content and see that objectively, that do you know the stories, do you know what happened, do you know both the sides, what all could this be morphed, could this be created because people wanted some kind of uh, 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 viewership. So detach from that, and of course, those are the tips that I would, and of course, regular presence. If you are, for me as a trainer, a human behavior is something that I'm really, really passionate about. So organization behavior, human behavior. So I keep posting content uh, on it, on professional platforms. So what does it do? It creates a very consistent relationship between me and my community. So they know, okay, this is the post coming from her, and this is what she's talking about. And I'm regular at that most of the time when I'm not overworked. But once a week, I try and post an article, something. Okay, so that there is a consistency in delivery of these articles. So as an on to create that personal branding, to create that online presence, one has to get into that also. There has to be consistent delivery of the content, of the topics that you'd like to discuss. And it has to be positive. It has to add value to people's life. You can't post just about anything and get away with it. It has to create some value. मैं अगर उसको consume करूँ इस content को तो क्यों करूँ, किस लिए करूँ, why should I do it, how is it going to add to my life, or why should, what's in it for me. So you have to add some sort of value to the viewer's life, to the community that you are posting this article to, right? So yeah.
एंड आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही कि हम फर्स्ट इम्प्रेशन और पॉजिटिव इम्प्रेशंस तभी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं व्हेन वी आर ट्रू टू आवरसेल्व्स, अदरवाइज वो फेक,
Absolutely. हाँ
राइट?
जी, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ट्रू.
एंड बहुत सारी सिचुएशंस ऐसी होती हैं जिसमें लोग सोचते हैं कि हम इस वक्त
हम्म.
एक पॉजिटिव इम्प्रेशन क्रिएट कर सकते हैं बाय
हम्म.
नॉट अप्लाइंग टू व्हाट वी बिलीव इन, राइट? वो शॉर्टकट्स हम यूज
Yes,
करते हैं लाइफ में
yes,
somehow,
yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Because of few situations we encounter, right? तो situation तो कुछ भी हो सकती है because it's life and
Absolutely.
they change on a daily basis. So
Hmm.
lastly, I want to ask you, what are some practical exercises or habits individuals can incorporate into their daily lives, because it's not a
Okay.
one-day thing, it's a daily process, it's a whole life process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
तो वो
Absolutely.
continually कैसे improve कर सकते हैं अपनी presentation skills को, not only
Mm-hmm.
presenting themselves but what they speak, what they think,
Hmm.
mindfully filter
Hmm.
करना, it's very important for what
Hmm.
you are
Yes.
doing, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
how can you make confident impressions in किसी भी situation, be it
Okay.
positive or be it negative, because हमेशा life will not serve you positive situation, right? इसके बारे में
Absolutely.
हमें थोड़ा
Absolutely.
बताएं.
Okay. Great question again. Now this has got me thinking a little. Okay, I'll try and answer this in the best possible way. So, Barkha, what usually happens, we were talking about confident presence, okay? And this, the generation today, I'm talking about millennial onwards, we have been taught fake it till you make it. है ना? So, and this is the mantra we live by. In some respect, I feel ठीक है, थोड़ा सा अगर करना पड़े, तो it's good. You know, you can't, but your life should not depend on it. It's not like मुझे knowledge नहीं है, मुझे कुछ नहीं है और मैं fake करके I'll get ahead. It doesn't work like that. Okay. First of all, I always tell my learners that I ask them कि जिम जाते हो तो एक दिन में मसल बन जाता है, एक दिन में प्रोटीन भी खा लिए मैंने, 36 ग्राम्स ऑफ प्रोटीन भी या 50 ग्राम्स ऑफ प्रोटीन भी खा लिया मैंने एक दिन में, और मैं जिम भी चली गई, और मैंने मतलब और भी जो सप्लीमेंट्स होते हैं ये सब ले लिए, मेरा एक दिन में विल आई गेट द बाइसेप्स और विल आई गेट द बैक दैट आई एम लुकिंग फॉर, और द लेग्स दैट आई एम लुकिंग फॉर, आई एम गोइंग टू गेट दैट इन वन डे? ऐसा होता है कभी? It doesn't work like that, Barkha, right? In real life, it doesn't. Okay. Johnny Bravo कर सकता था ऐसा, but that was in Cartoon Network. I'm not sure really if you don't know, if you know who Johnny Bravo was. Back in our days, it used to be a cartoon. So he had the ability of actually going to gym and one day and coming back with biceps in the evening. But it doesn't happen in real life. Yes. So what really works here in the real life are the consistent efforts. You know, being consistent with your diet, not just working out, not just lifting 20, 30, 40 kilos, whatever you're comfortable with, but looking after the sleep, looking after the diet part, making sure that you are, consistent in the gym every day, and you are consistent with your diet and sleep patterns, rest period, everything is taken into consideration. Now, these are small, one drop in the ocean. Ocean, every drop adds up to something big in life, right? So, this is what it is. Every small effort on everyday basis is going to then add up to a confident presence. Okay, you are not going to become confident in just one day. It's not something कि हमने दवाई ले ली, पिल ले ली कॉन्फिडेंस की, और शाम तक भाई अब तो मैं इंटरव्यू के लिए जा रही हूँ, जा रहा हूँ, अब मैं एकदम कॉन्फिडेंट होने वाला हूँ या होने वाली हूँ. ऐसा नहीं होता है. These are small little efforts that you make for yourself, on yourself. You take for yourselves, okay? आप रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में पहली बात तो अपने लिए इतने हाई स्टैंडर्ड सेट करिए. नॉट जस्ट एनीबडी अराउंड. ऐसा नहीं कि हाई स्टैंडर्ड सेट करने का मतलब मेरा आर्टिफिशियल उसमें नहीं है कि आई एम सो हाई फाई दैट आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टॉक टू अदर्स. नो, living up to your own expectations, okay? Raising your bar, that this is what I'm going to live up to. This is what my value system is. And I'm not going to accept anything below this, first of all. Okay. If I believe in respect, then I'm going to respect others, and I'm going to also receive respect in return. It happens that way, right? So this becomes a daily practice then. Do you think being treated well will give you confidence? Yes, it will. It will add to confidence, right? Small little बोलते हैं ना वो, there's a movie इरफान खान की जहाँ पे उन्होंने पूरा पहाड़ तोड़ के रोड बना दी थी. It's a real life story as well. So he could create that road through that entire mountain, not just one day, but through those consistent efforts. So it's like hammer in the wall that is going to create that big change in your life. So everyday effort, creating really big, setting high standards for yourself, है ना? Not stooping to someone else's negative behavior. You know, agar it's very easy to get distracted to get carried away with someone else's emotional outburst, but refraining from that, drawing a line, and maintaining your dignity and your respect. Of course, reading really helps. I think books have helped me in a great way, because I feel it has given me a sense of the world around me, even without traveling. And I'm a very avid reader. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but then yes, I like reading. I like reading, and I read a lot on the topics that I am passionate about human behavior, about psychology, about all these topics. I'm really curious about these topics, so I end up reading a lot of content on that. I'm passionate about history, so I read a lot about. So find your alignment, find your interest, and read. It really helps. It does. I mean, I can't emphasize much on it, but it really does. Okay. I feel being fit has really helped me. That is one habit that has sort of built a lot of confidence in me. And it has given me a very calm and composed thought process, because I'm very consistent with my fitness journey. I work out on daily basis, and I'm also quite particular about the diet and everything. So again, the standards that I set for myself. So no matter if I'm invited to a party or anything, I will go there with stomach full. Okay, घर से खा के जाएंगे तो वहां पे हम कम खाएंगे. तो आप अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स इतने अपने बार आप इतने रेस कर देते हो that you don't need anyone else pumping you. Then you know then what you expect out of yourself, you can deliver. आप कर सकते हो, है ना? तो वो बहुत important हो जाता है. Meditation really helps. These are some of the habits one should get into, I feel, especially in today's generation. है ना? Self doubt बहुत बड़ी problem है आज की generation की. Um, and it is something that is very hard to overcome, right? So you have to believe in yourself. uh, Positive self talk is very important, another habit that one should continuously get into, you know talking positively to yourself, because what happens here will be reflected here, and that kind of behavior is going to get I'm going to get from others. Okay, I tell my learners a lot, if you're thinking bad here, it's going to be reflected on your expressions on your face. एंड फिर आप सोचते हो कि उसने मुझसे इतनी रूडली बात क्यों करी यार, मैंने तो कुछ बोला ही नहीं था, because it was so clear on your expressions that you were thinking so negatively about a certain situation. So of course positive self talk is very important. Okay, to confident pheasants. So these are the habits that I think one should, um, I mean, that has these are the habits that have personally helped me. So I'm sure there are more, and I'm sure there are more. But these are the only habits I can think of right now. Yes. So I hope that helped.
And I'm sure they will help a lot of people out there who will be listening to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful insights to us. And it was a great talk. Thank you so much for
Same
being
here.
here.
No. Anything for you, Barkha, anything for you. And what you have set out to do, I hope and pray that you impact a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And all the best, for your journey. And I think you're doing a phenomenal job. And I would do it for you at a drop of a hat. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me
so
over,
much.
and lovely chat. And when trainers meet, when it creates a different atmosphere altogether, you learn so much from each other, you have such varied conversation. So that is one reason why I wanted to be part of this uh, talk, so that we can exchange ideas, we can talk about things and learn from each other and inspire each other in the process.
And
Thank you.
not only, sorry to cut you down, but not only did
No
you
worries.
impress us by your words, but you present yourself in a certain way. So you were the Jeeta Jagta live example of what you have said.
That's
So
very sweet of you to say
it
that.
will
Thank you.
definitely create a positive impact on people who would
Thank
be
you,
watching
Barkha.
this. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Thank you for
doing
saying
it.
that.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Through Thursday. It's been an amazing, transformative session filled with insights and diverse perspectives on creating first impressions and presenting oneself with confidence. We hope you have gained valuable takeaways from today's episode. And Miss Kundu, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates on further episodes and follow us on social media to continue these conversations beyond the show. Like always, remember your voice matters and together we can make a difference. Until next time, keep talking, keep listening, and keep making an impact.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. And love to your audience. Bye. Take care. Namaste.